Hello, this is Ashee from Crafting with Ashee and welcome to this video. Here I'm going to be using some wonderful layering stencils to create this pretty birthday card. And you can see here how lovely this is, and this is just stencils and a stamp set, nothing else. And this variation here uses Bermuda Bay and mint macaron, and I think it just looks so cute. You've layered one stencil on top of the other, so you get these different variations in colour, and then you can see I decorated the inside as well. So the next one I'm going to do will be a different variation, and I'll show you that one in a minute. So we've got a piece here of basic white that measures 14.35 centimeters by 10 centimeters, and the colors we're going to use this time are Fresh Freesia and Gorgeous Grape. And here's our stencil, and it's the Artistic Masks. And I'm just going to take my piece of paper, turn it upside down as you can see, and center it inside my mask. And then I'm going to take some post-it note tape, and I'm just going to tack my mask to my stencil so that it won't move when I start blending ink over the top. So there we go. So flip it back to the right side and just check that everything looks okay. So we're going to start off with Fresh Freesia ink, and we're just going to use a blending brush to apply our ink through our stencil. And the old adage stands true here that less is more. It's much easier to put down less colour and build up your intensity than it is to try and remove colour. It's near impossible to remove the colour once you put it down. So rather go for less and just build up your intensity slowly until you get to something that you're happy with. And as you can see, I'm just taking a little bit of colour on my blending brush, and then I'm just working around in circles, and there we go. Isn't that pretty? Lovely. So pretty. Very delicate. So now I'm going to use the second stencil, and as you can see, I just keep them in these sandwich bags, and then if by mistake I've still got some ink on it, it doesn't infect everything else. So now we are going to just line up our stencil, and you'll be able to see through the stencil how it lines up with the pattern below. So just keep on moving it around and taking your time until you get it lined up just as you want it to be. And then when you do, you're just going to stick it down to that post-it note tape we still have on the back, as you can see here. So now we're ready to go in with our second colour, and this is Gorgeous Grape. So I'm just getting rid of any ink on my blending brush. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm just going to go in with my Gorgeous Grape, and this really brings this whole image to life. And I'm going to do the same thing, just build up the intensity slowly and just putting the ink down, as you can see, in these circles, and this helps me not get any funny marks on the background. And I'm just going to keep going around again until I achieve something I'm happy with. I don't want the whole layer to look exactly the same. I do want there to be some variations in colour because I feel it'll give added interest to my piece. So I'm just going to keep going around till I'm happy, and there you go. Now we can take that stencil off, and look at that. Isn't that so pretty? Absolutely gorgeous. I really love this. Such an easy way to make a background. You can make so many different backgrounds using the stencils, and they're really good. They're not expensive, and it just gives you so many options. I love my stencils. I have a ton of them, and I do really love them. Okay, so we can move on to the next part of our card now, and we're going to do some stamping, and we're going to stamp our sentiment at the bottom of this basic white panel, and this measures 14.35 centimeters by 10, and it's the same size as the piece of card we just stenciled on. We're going to use the stamp set called Peaceful Moments, and we're going to use the image there that says Happy Birthday, and we're going to stamp in some Gorgeous Grape ink. So just going to test it out on our grid paper, and then we're just going to stamp here in the bottom right hand corner. Down, there we go. Easy peasy, lemon to squeezy. No trouble at all. So close up our ink pad so nothing can fall in it. Now I'm going to see how far down I want my panel to go, and then once I've decided, I'm going to flip it over and just mark on the back, and that way I will know exactly where I need to cut it with my trimmer. So you can see here, I'm just going to mark on the back with a pencil, and no one's going to see that mark line at all, so that'll be fine. So let's get my trimmer out and let's trim that off. Put that in, and then I'm also here going to trim a little piece of the spare piece, just so that I have a little strip to put on the bottom of my insert of my card. So here you can see me just deciding how much I want to have on the insert of my card, and I've used, I'd say, about 3/4 of an inch piece. You can choose whatever you want to do, but waste not, want not. So now I have here a piece of the rose gold, well, I think it's the gold metallic sheet. It comes from the pack, that's the golden rose gold metallic DSP, and I'm just going to cut a very small piece, and I'm just going to use this to mat at the end of my stencil piece, so you have a tiny little border between the stencil piece and the rest of the card. So I'm just going to use some Tombow on the back here, and then I'm just going to line it up, well, not Tombow, sorry, my seal, my Stampin seal I should rather say, and then I'm just going to line it up with my little piece of rose gold until I think it's sort of straight, and then cut off anything that overhangs. So now we can attach this panel to our stamped panel. So I'm just going to use my seal again, and it looks like I've got glue on my grid paper, which is not unusual for me. However hard I try, it seems to get there. So let's stick this down. There we go. And now we're going to stick this down to our panel, which is Gorgeous Grape. So again, just using a little bit of seal along the top and the bottom and the sides, and we're just going to center this, try and get it straight and down. Isn't that pretty? Now we're going to work on our insert. So now we're going to put that little piece that we trimmed, making sure I get the right piece, obviously. And we're just going to put a bit of seal, and we're just going to put this at the base. As you can see, I'm just trying to line it up so it's as straight as possible, and there shouldn't be any overhang because this panel is the same as our stencil panel. And then we're going to stick this on the inside of our card. You could add a sentiment if you wanted to, but I tend not to. I've already got a sentiment on the outside of the card. So there we go. That's the card at the moment. So we've got a few little bits of finishing touches to use. And we're going to be using the champagne rhinestones, and these are they. So I'm going to just take a few of these, and I'm just going to dot them around on my stencil panel, just to give a little bit of extra bling where I think it needs it. If you have liked this video, I'd be grateful if you could give it a thumbs up so YouTube know, and don't forget to subscribe to future videos. It really helps my videos become more visible on YouTube. If you want more information about the project, the supply list is linked below, as well as on my blog. You'll also find the links for my social media links. That includes the link to my business page, as well as my Facebook group, where I host monthly and bi-weekly challenges. So do check that out. I would love for you to come and join us. I also host a monthly card club in my Facebook group. So do check all of that out. The links, as I said, are below. So you can see here I'm just finishing off with my rhinestones. I've used quite a few, and I've run out of the size I wanted. So I'm going on to another size, and there we go. So done with all our rhinestones, and we've finished with our cards. So there's our Gorgeous Grape Fresh Freesia version, and the other one is Mint Macaron Bermuda Bay. Which one do you like best? Let me know in the comments below. I love to read your comments. So thank you again, and until next time, enjoy being creative. Bye.